You're okay.
Oh, I thought you was.
No, I'm not in.
Ta-da!
People are asking about comments, and this person says the program is right for waste property. Did you say? I don't know.
Technology is ruining this planet.
Oh,
Look over there. He's too old to say that.
Remote town. I don't know if that's where it's coming from, but it might be.
There is an echo, but is it coming off?
Yeah.
Are they logged in?
Is it still the same link on YouTube?
It's a different way, but, well, it's a different thing, but it's the same content. So.
It's kind of like when you try to do a group call with your son and everybody's sitting around together. Not okay. Definitely not okay.
You shared Charlie's. You shared Charlie.
Okay, are we on? We're good? Are you guys ready? Thank you, everyone, for coming. Let's begin with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you, everyone who is joining us tonight. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda.
Second by Cindy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any signed in? Okay. Let's move on to the organization of the board and our board meetings.
Do you mind bringing up that?
Do we have, can we put that up for people to see?
Yeah, in just a second.
Thank you. I have a question. When it goes up there, does it go in the video?
If it's up on that screen, it's what everybody will see and
Nice.
it's what gets recorded.
Perfect. We can just say right while we're waiting that the meetings will be here. They'll always be at 6 o'clock. And they usually are the second Monday.
There's
Not
no
much
changes
change.
this year to the second Monday. At least no proposed changes.
I was gonna say, does anyone have any suggestions for something different?
I really enjoyed that one meeting we had at the high school. I was hoping that we could do that again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say, Dr. D, if you would see if maybe there is opportunities for that.
Yes, what we can do, if you're okay with, I mean, typically the high school does that, their engagement night in the fall. And I would guess the October meeting is what we'd shoot for,
Mhm.
but then we would adjust, based on, as we get closer, if the date doesn't line up with other, they try to do that and have all those things going at the same time, so.
Perfect.
So if we wanted to just adjust the schedule to say that the October meeting would be planned to be held at Middleton High School, and then we can adjust as we get closer.
Okay.
To be announced, time and date, in case that changes, yeah. There was just so many students that attended that one. I think that's really good for high school.
We're making that motion right now then.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's up there. So who would like to make that motion with that adjustment?
Motion that we accept the current meeting schedule for 2026 with an exception for the October meeting that will be moved from this building to the high school, time and date TBD in conjunction with the high school career night.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right. Let's move on for nominations of board members. We need to elect a chairperson.
I move that we elect Pam Wagner for chairperson.
Second. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Who was the second?
Or no, thank you.
Everybody wanted to second it because nobody else wants to be the chairperson.
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. I would entertain a motion for vice chair.
I move that Jake Dempsey's the vice chair.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
All right.
All right, and we're gonna talk about committee reps tonight, just because it's kind of nice for the general public to understand some of the things that we assign board members to do. And there's a new one that's gonna start, and we're gonna work with the Idaho School Boards Association on this, and it's a legislative rep. It's someone who they will meet, I believe it's twice a month on Thursdays, and they will meet with other school board members throughout the state. And they will be discussing legislation that is ongoing, and then bring that back to our meeting and report to the board so that we can be abreast of things that are happening currently in the state and things that might affect the school district. So I am curious as to who would be willing to do something like that. And just for the record, so you know, I am already on that GAC board as, because I'm a region chair for Region 3, which is our, probably, I would say, the Treasure Valley. So I'm already kind of going to those meetings, but I'm okay if we have someone else as well, because I think the more we are informed, the better.
Where are the meetings at?
They are Zoom calls. You would meet Zoom, it would be twice a month on Thursdays, and there would be times, maybe opportunities for you to come in and testify at the legislature. We just want to be a more orchestrated effort to be working together.
what are the times of those Thursday calls?
The 29th, the 12th of February. Did you guys receive an email on that from Quinn Perry? Okay.
You're asking about the time of day though.
Yeah.
Oh, the time of day?
Noon or
12:30. 12:30. It'll be at noon.
what if you don't know how to hook up? Then
I can come over and help you.
You could also come to the district office, we can get you.
There you go. There you go.
I was just thinking if it was something I could do on the tractor, as long as I need the tractor.
You know, and I will say this, something I do know, you can get onto those meetings and listen if you'd like. I mean, the more the merrier. There is not, it doesn't just have to be one. So I'm wondering who would like to.
Fine with it because I am downtown quite a bit anyways, but
oh, yeah, oh, okay.
if
But still, if you wanted to do it too.
somebody else wants to do it,
Are you gonna keep me on curriculum?
Do you want to be on curriculum?
Hey,
we let you off of it.
I don't mind doing it. I just don't know time-wise if I'm, gonna be able to.
Would it be conducive if Jake did it and then there were times we pull you in, especially if it's special education?
Oh, okay, yeah.
How do you feel about that? Then your time commitment wouldn't be, of course, we'll keep you on curriculum. We just haven't got to that section
I
yet.
know. That would work if I could be kind of a backup if needed.
And you can still attend the meetings.
Yes, yeah, okay, maybe.
Okay, perfect. Do we need to take action on that?
You could probably do all
All
the
the-
committees at the same time.
Okay, let's talk about curriculum.
Cindy.
Yes, I feel like Cindy's a good resource. Are you okay with that, Cindy?
Yes, I'm fine.
And our safety committee,
And that's something we changed a little since the last time we organized about this. We do have a parent safety committee that meets monthly now.
okay,
So whoever's part of that we'd encourage that board member to come to those meetings as well.
What,
are they at night? Are
They're
they-
at night. They're on the first Thursday of the month at 6:00.
what kind of safety issues?
It's taking the parent perspective on the, building safety, student safety at school. We've organized for them to do walkthroughs of buildings to take a look at how things are being run and give their perspective. They've given a lot of good help in terms of some of the things that they see at home or what their kids come home and tell them, that are safety issues, and it's just helped us make sure that we're tightening up wherever there's loose things going on. So It's been helpful. They're helping put together a safety conference for parents. So been really good so far.
And I think it's a good way to connect with the community.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay,
First Thursday night
At 6. Yes.
6.
and maybe if we can just figure out a way to remind.
Yeah, I'll make sure.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you. All right, let's talk about teacher negotiations. Derek, you wanna do it?
No.
All right, and our construction,
I don't know.
What's the construction deal?
It's just if there's, anytime that we needed to, like, as we're getting the building going, if there's something that just needs a board perspective before but we don't want to wait for a meeting necessarily, that would be what I would.
all right, perfect.
Could I be on that too? I think we had 2 of us on that before.
Yeah, there were 2.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds, if Derek doesn't mind.
Nope, that's perfect.
All right.
All right. So we have, for our legislative reps, we have Jake and Cindy. And our curriculum is Cindy, safety will be Jay, and teacher negotiations will be myself, and then construction will be Derek and Jay. Thank you, everyone. So I would entertain a motion to approve all of those.
Make a motion that we approve the committee, representation as listed
Thank you.
to this.
For a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Aye. And I would entertain a motion to nominate our treasurer.
I have spoken with her. She's good to go.
Okay. I can't make the nomination, so one of you need to. It's Alicia.
Yeah, I, make a motion to nominate Alicia Krantz to be our treasurer.
The second from Jake. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
all right.
Aye. All right, I would entertain a motion to nominate Gina Corrigan as our board clerk.
I move that we nominate Gina Corrigan as our board clerk.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right,
Aye. That is good. Let's move on to the consent agenda. Is there any discussion on this consent agenda? That involves the personnel report, monthly financials, out-of-state overnight travel, food service, code of conduct. Any discussion?
Well, it looks like as far as the out of state travel overnight type things, we got
It was,
info on it.
right, because we had the one that was the spreadsheet last time. This was one that came in after that, so we wanted to make sure you had all the information.
Oh, okay,
Thank
Rather
you.
than bringing a whole spreadsheet back, we just gave you that information.
okay,
And this is one that they've attended before, the FFA in
in Utah.
Northern Utah.
And is there any more discussion? I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
all right.
Aye. All right, let's move on to our discussion items. We are gonna have a high school band presentation. We will turn the time over to you guys if you'll come to the podium.
Awesome. So you met me once before last year. My name is Dominic Conti. I'm the director of bands at the high school. I appreciate the invitation to come speak about the band program. You talked to me about it last week, so I'm very excited. I brought three representatives, 2 of our drum majors who conduct the pep band and the marching band this fall, and then one of our senior section leaders as well, who wanted to come. Just a little bit about the achievements of the program in the last 2 years as I've taken over, which has been a whirlwind of an adventure. For the marching, I'll start with the marching band first, because that's probably the most visual program that we have here at the high school. Our marching band has been the 2024-2025 District 3, which is the Valley Championship, where all 32 bands from Treasure Valley come and compete at Boise State. It's been there for years. It's called the Mel Shelton District 3 Championship. We've been division champions in our division, which is the Class A division. First place in all the Valley competitions we have participated, competing against bands in our area. So specifically, it's different than what IHA SAA does. We competed with Harma, Weezer, Payette, missing one, Weezer, Owen Bishop Kelly this year joined us in there. That is a change going next year. That will be a change, and I'll get to that when we get to the future points. So this year was last 2 years anyway, we've swept first place in all the competitions that we have been in, which is a true remarkable amount of hours that these students, all three of these students have been in both the years that I've been here. If you don't know what we do, you're out on the football field for 10 days in the summer and mid to late July, hot days, learning marching, configurations, formations. You're learning how to work as a team, memorizing music, headband music for the fall season and to the basketball, plus everything else. A 7.5 minute show can be physically enduring on them, which is amazing. We do a lot of different things to help them get ready for that conditioning, all that stuff to help them have healthy, essentially almost like an athlete, but in a different way. It's not the normal what you would think an athlete, but I believe it's more like you think of dance or cheer, even their cheer choreography or even long distance track. They're going for 7.5 minutes, blowing their instruments, playing their drums, carrying very heavy stuff. So making sure that they're prepared to do that at a high level, which has been an amazing thing. Our caption awards received during the 2025 fall season, we received best music in our division, best visual, which is how they're on the field, all that stuff. Best general effect is how the show's presented. So every year we create a new show, custom designed by myself or the staff that I have. This year is actually this fall will be a full customized show by my marching band staff that I have come up this fall, which is super exciting. We've done best percussion, which is your drum line, your front ensemble. You see those keyboards in the front, and then of course the first place auxiliary, which is our color guard, which we join in. And those students have been in so many different activities, events, the homecoming parade, lovely 4 point. They can attest to that on 4.5, about 4 mile hike for them. The Christmas parade, they do the Veterans Day parade, which has been super fun. We did these last 2 years. The Christmas parade with the mayor, which was super fun. Last year we got Mayor's Choice for the candy cane lane, which was super surprised. We weren't even there, but the mayor absolutely loved it. So that's really much of that. Right there was our fall marching show. It's called Sparkle, like your spark, so you can sparkle, which was super fun for us to do. It was a complete difference than what we did in previous years, composers, everything. These students, I know they enjoyed it. It was a challenge for them, and we're hoping that it will be completely different next year. So come to one of the football games or competitions. I can tell you right now, it's going to be completely different, which will be awesome. Our WIN ensemble in the spring, which is our high top group, most students audition into the group to be in there. They're made up of freshmen up to mostly sophomores, juniors, seniors, but it can be with freshmen if they audition in the spring. Received a superior rating at the District 3 large band festival at Ridgeview last year, which is a huge achievement. It's done by 4 judges outside the area. It's extremely, extremely difficult. You're talking about the highest level of commitment to their music, their notes, their dynamics, style, everything. And these students will tell you, I challenge them with some pretty hard music. Music's graded from graded 1, which is part of our middle school, to 3, and all the way up to 6, which is your professional college level. These students actively play around 3.5 to 4s, at least 1 4 every concert cycle. So it's pretty challenging stuff. Our jazz band this year, this is a little bit obviously in the calendar year, which is made up of 20 students, 17 to 20 students of the jazz style, received a superior rating at the NNU Festival in April, and then in December, they received a superior rating at District 3 Jazz Festival, which is even tougher than the wins because jazz people are very opinionated. So it's hard to get them. It's how it works. They're very opinionated, they know their stuff, and they get really amazing judges for us to receive those from all across the valley, across the country, really. We've had people from Florida, and New York, and all those places, those that are run by the District 3 music educators. So they got Superior, which was super exciting for us. All-state honor band, solo and ensembles. We had some pretty amazing stuff happen this year. We had one student selected last year to the all-state band, and then of course to the 2025 all-state all Northwest band. So which is extremely competitive. You're talking about Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Colorado, those Wyoming areas there for the all Northwest band. That happens every other year when the all Northwest conference happens. So next year students will be able to audition for that. This year for All-State, which is competitive within the entire band, entire state, you're going against, everyone in a blind audition. We had 4 students selected to participate in All-State ensembles. We had 2 in the orchestra. They're doing a full symphony orchestra, so we had 2 selected for that, in flute and trumpet. We had 1 selected in the jazz band, and also 1 in the concert band. Concert band, both our flute player, trumpet player, and our clarinets, and the band was all first chair. First part or first chair, our flute player is actually principal flute in the All-State Orchestra. So huge achievement. It's very hard to do. You're talking at least, 120 students are selected. Close to 400 auditions every year are selected to those. We had an oboe player was selected as an alternate. I'll make a note that Mr. Turner, as a choir director, also had 7 selected for the band, for the choirs as well. So I just want to hold that in there, which is awesome. Then last year in the spring, we have a state solo competition day. We had 1 state champion in our tuba soloist. He's graduated as a senior last year. And then we had a freshman at the point. He's a tenor sax solo, also the runner-up in state. And those students participate in the district solo festival in February. So we actually have a good chunk of actually doing that this year. Some new students, which is awesome. And then if they score, they have to earn a superior and have a height up. It's only 2 per district of the Idaho area. Then they're selected to go to the state competition. Last year was in Pocatello, and we had he took state champion to it, and he was by far 10 points above everyone else in that, and he did a great job. I wanted to. This doesn't happen by accident. I wanted to make sure I made note of our middle school director as well. I say it all the time, Frankie makes my life easy at the middle school. If he's giving them the basics, I can do so much more with them as well when they come to the high school. And I just wanted to make sure he's listed there on some of his achievements out in the middle school, because I can't do my job and be successful without him doing his job. It's a total team effort and stuff like that. So I want to make sure his program is also getting the highlights that it needs as well. And you can see some of his best ones. There's honor bands. His jazz band, actually, I think yep, it is on there. His jazz band got his first ever superior rating at D3 in December, I think this was. I can't remember where it was, but he tied for the highest score band in a junior high school band in Boise, which is phenomenal. Coming out here, and both him and I have both said about how awesome the culture of the band is starting to really grow in the community. So that's a bunch of our encounters for the last 2 years, and it doesn't happen, I'm one person, they listen to me, but it's the students' hard work is what does it, hours upon hours. The pep band games, and they're there hours and hours. They're an hour before every pep band game typically, and marching band is usually 2 to 3 hours before a game starts on their preparation. It's a ton of commitment and a lot of life work. I will mention we've had a lot of students go for college, not necessarily earning scholarships. I had one student, that's a pretty big one, earned close to $200,000 scholarship to Weber State, playing his bass clarinet, studying zoology. Funny enough, so you don't have to be a music major to earn those, but they are earning it. Just a quick thing, just to show you our growth over the course of the years. I use a program called Be a Part of Music, and it's just basically for advocacy for music. Basically, the numbers and totals of what our projected totals will be. There is one thing in here where this is where 100% of the students do join, but this is the projection of what we could have in the next 4 years. You can see we're at 64 total of this year, bumping up to 84, 115. And you can see there that I think it's 28, 29, we can have close to 148 if all students join our program, and 121 going down obviously from graduation. Last year we had We had close to, I think there was 33 in the program, 25 joined. So that number always fluctuates. But I also had a ton of students move in as well, constantly coming in. So you can see just kind of our breakdown of our program right now. We got a huge freshman class. We're expecting another big one. So we're starting to grow along with the choir program and orchestra. We're starting to really grow, which is exciting for us and also challenging at times for us, which is awesome. Some of the future stuff for the marching band is moving to open class this next fall season. They don't know this, but they just figured it out. And won't matter to them too much, they're graduating. Competing alongside programs such as Eagle, Owyhee, Capital, Caldwell, some more local areas. Some of the big boys, Eagle's been, sweepstakes champion for a while, and we're excited to go up there and challenge them and be able to put on a great show this next season. Hopefully, we're hoping to continue our increase of student participation across all areas of the band program, from jazz, marching band, concert band. We're hoping to continue to build capital funds, support for purchases of equipment, supplies, uniforms, ensuring competitiveness and high quality student experience. My number one thing is the students' experience. That's my top thing. Is it good or bad for the students enjoying the program? The big one right now we're focusing on is our uniforms. They are extremely old. They're close to, I think, 2007. I think they're 19 years old.
They're older than most of the kids in the program.
They're old. They're old. We're working on getting them more fundraising. I know I talked to Dr. Gee about that a lot, and just continue to build that stuff. Let's see, equipment, music instruments, all that stuff to continue repairs on those as the program grows. Raise the performance standard and continue to raise that. That's always my goal. Including a new Jazz 2 class is what I'm hoping to do to build into the jazz program a little bit, which would be super exciting. It's basically a non-audition group where people can join jazz. Increase awareness in college music opportunities and strengthen our community outreach efforts. This year we had the mayor join us for the Christmas concert. Super fun and exciting. And then one of the things we're hoping to continue to do and build upon is collaborating with our middle school and elementary schools to elevate the arts within our school community. It's not like you see on the TV program and that arts is for everyone. And you should be in an arts program of some form because it helps you not only, in high school, but way out of your life. So that's my little spill for you. You can ask me questions, and you have these students here. Please ask them questions. They like to interrogate me. Yeah.
How much is one uniform?
Depends. So it depends. Depends on the design. It's all custom designed to the program itself. Can range. This is the range around. If you get a great quality one, $700 to close to $1,200 to $1,500. That's all depending on what stuff you get and the company you use and stuff. But it's also taking your programming for a ton of people.
But I would imagine you would want something that's newer just because the actual textile is gonna be a little more comfortable.
Yeah, so right now,
and
we
something
can go
from
into that and we can.
polyester to, dry fit maybe.
Right now, we have to do dry cleaning.
Yeah,
That's always fun. Right now, the running seams on our uniforms we're starting to wear because we have wonderful parents that do running seams on them to make adjustments for the kids. And then the new uniforms have snap-ons, makes it a little easier and doesn't work. Uniforms and you can wash them at home. So we're slowly getting to that point. We're building that. It's a large project that we're continuously starting to work on and keep moving to.
very good. I have a question for all three of you. If there's one thing you could tell somebody younger, what would you tell them about your experience in band?
Don't skip practices, you'll be left behind. Don't be that one kid that's there just to get the credit. We've had several kids in the program in years past. Our grade started 7 years ago in 6th grade. I want to say there was around 120 of us or something.
120
Yeah. We are down to about 6 remaining from that grade. And I gotta say, I think the main reason for that is because a lot of kids really just thought that they were getting in just because, oh, it's band, I don't have to do anything. Oh, it's whatever. If you want to be in the band program, you're only going to have a fun time if you actually want to have a fun time.
Well, it doesn't help the song if everybody's not contributing
Yes.
correctly.
The judges will tell you. I'm pretty sure they told the jazz band. I've called people.
I think people can probably hear it in the
Yes,
audience, maybe.
I've been called out. So yeah, don't be that one guy. That'd be my advice.
It's okay, yeah.
I just wanted to tell you guys, I really appreciate you guys being here tonight because I know you guys do a lot of work and you're very rarely appreciated for all the things that you guys do. So that's great.
Go ahead.
Something I would say is it's a lot more than just making music. I've been able to find so many great friends. I've been able to make so many great relationships just being a part of the band program. Some of my best memories in high school were with the band.
Thank you. I would thank you for facilitating good opportunities for these guys, and I would thank you for entertaining us all.
I asked them, I was like, you know,
Music
how
is
much-
powerful, and it's kind of fun when you get to perform it in a group.
For sure.
They did a great job.
Yeah, how much money I know the mayor is really supporting you
Yes.
and getting the word out
Last time I
about.
checked the thing, I think we were close to, we raised around 5,000, close to. So the goal and where we need to be is around close to 70 to 80,000. So
Oh, okay.
we're slowly getting there. The goal is to continue to do that and just building, especially kind of, written a couple grants with Mr. Hollinger and, Superintendent Gee also writing support us to support. I'm continuously looking for those sponsors and all that jazz to help raise that
Very good.
awareness for them.
One more question. Are you guys gonna do any patriotic songs for America 250?
Are you talking about the marching show?
Just any of it, any of it.
I'm pretty sure, yes. We will definitely do that. Yes.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yes, thank you.
All right, let's move on to our community school update. Mrs. Watkins, you're up.
To the maze.
Come up to our fancy podium.
Thank you. I am excited to be presenting to you tonight. I'm even more excited to be presenting to you as a funded community school. That was a rough Christmas break, to say the least, but our funding did come through and we're back at it. So, community school, I love talking community schools, and I don't have very long to talk community schools, so I'm gonna go fast, and I'm not gonna get to everything on here, but you guys have the presentation that you can look over as well. But our whole, the whole goals of our community school are removing barriers to student success, supporting the whole child through partnerships, and aligning services with district goals. We are funded through the United Way full service community school grant. There were 15 school districts that signed on with the United Way. Initially, we were one of them. Our grant runs from 2024 to 2028. So we have 3.5 years left on our grant. Idaho received the largest chunk of federal funding in the community school chunk of funding. They received $46 million to do this work over 5 years. What that means for Middleton is just with the United Way piece of the grant, it will be $1 million into Middleton, over $1 million into Middleton over the next 5 years. That breakdown is salary for a full-time site coordinator at each site location, which are the 2 site locations are the Heights and the Academy, at $65,000 a year per site. That did go up this year by 3%. It was 62.5 or something before. And then pipeline services for each site at $40,000, and that will decrease through project period. But this year we have 40,000, next year we have 40,000, then we have 30, then we have 20. Additional grant funding we received through the community school grant is out of school time. We received 75,000 for each site, and that supports anything out of school. So academic support, summer support, culinary, CTE, anything we are doing before school, after school, and out of school time. This grant does not support any work to support basic needs or operating costs. So for instance, we ran a summer program at Heights last year. We will run a summer program again this year. We are running culinary classes at.
Can you like give some details of what the summer program entails?
Yeah, for sure. So we identified 60 Heights Elementary students who will fill in that tier 2, tier 3 range.
Mhm.
And we provided academic and enrichment support for them for the summer. It was a full day program. They did a half a day in the morning of academics. The afternoon was enrichment. The kids absolutely loved it. I mean, the comments, and I did put a video in here, I linked a video that you guys can watch later that kind of just shows you a lot of the pieces of the summer program. This year, our goal is to increase that number to 100 and include students from both Purple Sage and Mill Creek as well.
Perfect.
It was specific to Heights last year because it was the first year and Heights was the identified school, and we were at the middle school. So we had some issues with lots of different things. We're gonna be able to do more this year.
Nice.
So thanks for the question. Heights pipeline service. The goals are academic and enrichment opportunities. So we do lunch clubs, support summer intervention, attendance initiatives. We do a Mario Kart challenge where the students know that they're trying to race their classes next to them by getting better attendance than the other classes. 5-star families, we are giving out stars very, very leniently. But if you participate, if a parent participates in anything at Heights, they get a star. And once they earn 5 stars, then they will be invited to a formal dinner that the staff serves them at the end of the year. So parent-teacher conferences, coming to the Boo Bash, donating snacks to classrooms, where stars are, you show up, you get a star. And then student and family engagement, best day of school ever, school-wide book club. Nicole's planning a really cool, it's called the Sasquatch Escapes. And every student in the school is going to get a book. And then she and her staff members are going to read chapters, record them, and then the students can participate, and there'll be trivia challenges, ways to show that they participated at home in the event. So pretty fun stuff, really. The Academy Pipeline Service goals are, we used a lot of the pipeline service money to hire a dedicated full-time pipeline service coordinator, and that person is really supporting the academic and enrichment opportunities, which is the culinary classes and the CETE programs, attendance initiatives. Our academy students, that's a hard group to reach with attendance and with their families, but we're doing some fun things to try to get them engaged, and we're including them and some of the planning of it to try to get some more buy-in from them. Student and family engagement, I can say last year, our family engagement night had less than 10 parents. This year we reached over 30. And so that was really fabulous and a lot of work from the pipeline service coordinator. College and career readiness, we're doing FAFSA, launch, all of the things. The senior interviews, we bring out Dress for Success. We bring the students over to the clothing closet. We try to provide as many opportunities as we can. And then obviously the culinary and construction pieces as well. District-wide family support services, not funded by the grant per se, is our community closet, which is located at the church at the corner of Hawthorne and Concord. That's probably the most visual piece of our community school. It's available monthly to any family who has a student enrolled in the Middleton School District, things that they can access there. And this, for me, the way I try to preface it is it's community supporting community. Without our community, we would not have this program. Our community is learning quickly that by donating to us, it goes further than by donating to the youth ranch, where it's still very expensive. So families can come in monthly, they can shop for clothing, coats, socks, underwear, shoes, hygiene items, household items, food. We do get quite a few food donations, and we were just recently approved to be an Idaho Food Bank school-based food pantry. So we're in the works of getting that up and running, which is really gonna help. A lot of our families can't access the food pantry because it's Saturday at between 10 and 12:15. They're working. That's the reality.
Mhm.
And then resource navigation, we help connect them to outside resources and agencies that can assist them. Some of our larger community school partners, Little Peeps provides free eye exams and glasses. So we work with them and Family Eye Care. We do screenings once a month, and then we do all kindergarten screeners each year. So when we do a screening and it comes up that they have an issue, we get a voucher from Little Peeps. They go to Family Eye Care. They get everything done for free. Family Eye Care bills Little Peeps at the lowest Medicaid rate to keep the program going. Terry Riley provides 2 clinical counselors to our secondary schools. This is a fabulous service because they're able to get clinical counseling on site. You don't have to leave school. They're not missing class time. Program to date, you can see that we're growing. These are just the number of students that have been reached so far up until last week. And my goal, there's 2 open spots at the middle school. As soon as those are full, my goal is to add a 3rd at the elementary schools and continue to build that program. Idaho Food Bank backpack program. I did invite students to take home a backpack of food each week. Last year, we were serving 47 students. As of last week, we were serving 64. That number jumped to 65 today. So you can just see that the increase is there, the need is there. Idaho AEYC, we do a Ready for Kindergarten program that's open for all parents who have children between the ages of 0 and 5. It is a 3-part series that our teachers were trained to teach. Last year we had 15 families enrolled. This year we have 22 families enrolled, and it's free. Get amazing stuff, and it just helps prepare our kindergartners for when they come to us. And then Go-Go Squeeze has been a huge partner. This year they will be donating 3 pallets of applesauce to us. And then we get that out to the schools so the teachers each have applesauces in their classrooms for hungry kids. The Idaho Diaper Bank, and I'm sorry I didn't put these numbers up here, but I will tell you the numbers. I counted them a minute ago. The Idaho Diaper Bank is the only service that we do that is open to anybody. You do not have to have a student enrolled in our district to access the Idaho Diaper Bank because we're a partner with the Idaho Diaper Bank. We are currently looking for a sponsor to pay our membership fee this year. It's $250, but that $250 during the 2024-2025 year served 139 visits. And so far this year, it has served 79 visits. Each baby gets 50 diapers and 2 packs of wipes a month. A lot of the things that I found out when I entered this job is the things that we're giving away in the closet, the hygiene, the household items, the diapers. You cannot use your SNAP card to purchase any of those items. So basic feminine hygiene products, diapers, wipes, cleaning supplies, none of that can be used for your SNAP. So we're providing some really great benefits for families to help them get their SNAP and their other resources to go further. Back to school events, we raised $8,500 for that event. We gave out 300 plus backpacks. We had barbecue. We had vendors. It was just a really fun day. We got great compliments about it, and we plan on doing it again. The same day that the LDS Church does the clothing swap, which is August 1st, and STAR also does a backpack program that day. So if people come to us that aren't enrolled in our district, we can send them down to STAR, and they serve everybody. So impact and data highlights. This is my fun. This is my fun piece here. So we did not start tracking closet visits until February last year because that's when we got our funding. So we had 64 closet visits last year. This year to date, we've had 191 closet visits. That's powerful. Thanksgiving meal referrals, last year we had 37, this year we had 72. Christmas referrals, each child receives 2 needed items and 1 wanted item. Last year we had 100 families with 300 students, and this year we had 111 families with 316 students. So again, community supporting community. We wouldn't be able to do that without this community, the local organizations, the churches, businesses, etc. Heights last year, our students participating in after school program right now is 15. That's our 5th graders going into 6th grade. They won't be in our summer program, so our 5th grade teachers wanted a way to help bridge the gaps for them as they're moving into middle school. Our academy, we have 15 to 20 about weekly doing the culinary class. Like I said, there were 60 students served in the Heights program. This is that video I told you about. The valuation of the closet. So everything that comes into the closet is inventoried at a thrift store value. Even if it has tags on it, even if it's brand new shampoo and conditioner, it's still valued at a thrift store value. So during 2024-25, we brought in that comment is totally in the wrong spot, $147,126 of goods and monetary donations. To date this year, we have brought in $91,998, so almost $100,000 in materials. Volunteer hours, we have 5 amazing volunteers that come every single week, and they have given us 172 volunteer hours to date this year. So this work matters. It removes barriers so students are ready to learn. It improves attendance, engagement, and behavior. It supports the whole child and the family. It connects schools with partners. Our partners are just continuing to grow, and that's amazing. It leverages grant funding. I'm constantly looking for other grants to help supplement or expand services. It provides intervention and crisis support, extends learning beyond the school days, and builds trust. Some of our major donors, you can see here, there's more, but these are some of our largest donors. And then looking ahead, it's just sustainability and next steps, knowing that eventually our grant funding is going to decrease. We are charged with continuing the grant for at least 3 or 5? 3 years post grant funding. So continued and expanded partner and donor expansion of programming, building space for long-term continuation of services, and ability to grow and expand, ongoing data collection, and long-term sustainability. So that's everything community school, really quick. Questions?
Any questions?
Not a question, I just want to congratulate you on what you're doing, because I've donated here and there to the community
You have.
school, and when I go in there and see what's going on, it's definitely a positive thing. It's good for kids, it's good for families, and Charlie's doing a great job in terms of running that
Thank you, Sydney.
business. You're welcome.
And I would love for you guys, as you tour the other schools, I'd love for you to include the community school in one of your site tours, so we can really show you firsthand what we're doing and the impact that it's making.
Perfect, will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
All right. Let's talk about mid-year intervention. Mrs. Goodson.
This is loading.
Feels like my friend did about this time, get loading. All right, I wanted to share with the board and our patrons, a little bit about 95% Group. Now that is what we adopted last year as part of our Reading Foundations curriculum. So when I normally present to the board, it is our benchmark or grade level data, and it's at a very high level, red, yellow, and green. And then I often get asked the question, well, but what do you do? How do you respond? How do you know what to do with these students? So I kind of wanted to walk you through what that looks like. So will you go back one, Lisa? For me. This is a flow chart, kind of like a decision-making tree of all the steps that we make once we get the data. And so go forward. So what I typically present to the board is our iReady data in K-8 reading and math, our Amira data in K-3 reading. And this, we are piloting a K-5 reading and math benchmark and progress monitoring tool. Our iReady contract is up at the end of next year. So we're doing an informal pilot right now. We're just getting some anecdotal feedback, and then we'll see where that takes us moving forward. So if you want to go forward, so that is a universal screener, and that's for all students. Absolutely all students take that assessment so that we can determine, I have to go teacher mode. Can I go
You're
teacher
good.
mode, stand in front of the computer with my pointer here? Really, we're determining what students are at or above benchmark or grade level, and which students fall below grade level. If we're sitting at grade level, we continue our tier 1 or that core instruction at grade level. If they're falling below this benchmark, if you want to go forward, then here are the steps we take with those students. We then do a diagnostic assessment, and here's how I would equate it for you when you go and you get like your annual blood test and you get those results back.
Sometimes the doctor will call you and say, we need to do some follow-up work. This is the follow-up work, so that we can really hone in on what is the deficit. So go on over, depending upon what grade level, sorry. You're good. Depending on what grade level the student is in, whether we're working on phonemic awareness or phonics, I'm just gonna point you to the second grade student here, because I'm gonna take this case, this example through the flow chart for you. So a student in the second grade is going to receive a phonics screener at the start of the year. We're also gonna make sure that student gets another one mid-year. And we're looking for a pass rate of 90% on that phonics screener. Now go forward. This is what it looks like on a data entry end. So with 95% group, our students are not on it's not a computerized assessment that the student's clicking buttons on. The student is speaking to an EA or to a teacher, and they're noting on a computer, the proctor is, what they got wrong, what were some common errors that the student was making, and where did they get things correct. And so what you'll see, each one, like P2, P2, P3, P4, they all relate to a specific skill that the student of the learning progression. So student does great, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and then we get to P5. And we notice, well, long vowel silent E, student scored a 2 out of 10 for pseudo words and a 7 out of 10 for sentence. And you'll see, because I have to redact any data, because it's not a live screen, but if I clicked right there, you would see it change to the sentence level. So this is how granular we're getting with the student data. So keep going one forward. So this is an example of the start of the year, a diagnostic, and then a middle year diagnostic. We were about a month behind because it took us a little bit to get up and running with our implementation. We were also able, fortunate enough, in November to take a group of teachers to Madison School District on the other side of the state. They've been using this for 10 years. And so we were able to glean a lot from that site visit. So again, you'll see here where the student fell out at the start of the year in P3 and then received interventions. And then by mid-year, we've made it to skill P5. So from that, we can go one step farther. And this tells us even more specific than long vowel silent E, what the student should be working on. So 5.1, 5.2, it's all related to another subskill. So we know that this student needs support in 5.1, 5.2, and 5.10. So then that's where we're looking at that data. I'm gonna go forward. And then we then do our tier 2 intervention. So we put the small group students into small groups. It's a targeted skill. So we find students and they have a like skill. So we're gonna work on those together. Go one forward, Lisa. So you can see here, this is what it looks like in the system that we put the kids in. So we have the skill group. We can name the plan whatever we want, and then we put students in that group. And so we're able to adjust, see exactly when interventions happen, teach those interventions, and then reassess again at that skill level. And so keep going. If we hit step 4, this could be a possible response to intervention or a formal referral that we need to put together a formal plan for this student because we need to have enough data to show that the intervention has or has not been working. And that's the point that we would have our teachers work with their building level RTI teams and determine, do we need to make a tweak in the intervention on that side. So this kind of gives you a closer glimpse, like what do we do with the data? This is what we do with the data. And like all things, we have to give the intervention time to see if it's working or not. Same thing when we get our blood test back and our doctor changes a medication, it takes time to see if it's working. So, but then the key is you come back and you reassess to make sure you made progress. So in as quick of a way as I can, that is how we respond to that intervention. It has been, as far as 95 is concerned, for tier 1 and tier 2 in ELA for K5. Everyone says you did both at the same time. So yeah, we did both. They said, that's a lot.
our teachers would tell you that's a lot, but they're doing wonderful work. The work that they're doing with students is very systematic. And because it spirals not just throughout the grade level, but spirals up the grade level,
Scaffolding,
it does. The students, the verbiage, the hand signals, all of those things will be consistent if we implement this with fidelity. So,
nice.
so thank you, the board, for approving that investment. Because it's helped a lot of our teachers with the, how do I intervene and what specifically do I do?
Well, and I think it's something that was just silly and kind of fun to note is Madison's superintendent
Mhm.
had made it a goal that no child would graduate without being able to read.
Yes.
And I thought that he had that much confidence in 95%. So
Yeah, we're seeing movement already, so it's an exciting
that's awesome.
piece.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Paige. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because I think it really kind of shows what the curriculum is doing.
Yes, yeah. And then the nice part too, because I know the board has said, what happens when a student moves school to school, grade level to grade level? This stays with the child.
Mm.
Yeah.
So the following school can pick up right where the student left off. I think I have one more piece. So
You do. Go ahead. You're good.
It is the season for new course proposals, so I'm bringing you the first round of them. And then I will have more next month for both the middle school and the high school, but we wanted to kind of get these to you as they are already well underway in their conversations of what does next year look like and how do we get our systems ready for registrations. In fact, they start that conversation in probably November, December.
Mhm. You don't want to just go through the courses or
Yep.
just waiting for, here we
There we
go.
go. Perfect. So one of the courses that you approved last year was an introductory technical and professional communications class that fulfills the English credit. And that is for our CTE students, the English class that they take in the 11th grade so that it can be more industry focused. And it has been very well received by the teachers and by the students, so much so that we now need the advanced version of that for when they come into 12th grade. And we have some phenomenal teachers, and both the high school and the academy have worked really well. When they talk about policies and processes, the kids are learning that within their industry. So they're pulling policy handbooks from a construction trade, like what are the safety measures that we have to take? So it's very specific to their content. So that's for next year, so that advanced class. They are also looking at putting in a Vikings media class that can be utilized, photography, digital design, media production, and they can help work with the high school on some of the marketing materials, some of the sports promotions.
Oh, yeah,
pieces
yeah,
like that.
The
Yeah.
nice reader boards that we
Yeah.
have. are
Yeah.
too easy.
It's been a while since we've touched base on the theater courses, so we thought we would bring that before you. And we've got some exciting things that we want to see to put before you, and then we can put before the students and see if the interest is there. One is an intro to theater class. The second one is an advanced theater class, theater leadership, intro to theater, and costuming. And I think there's one more. No, it was at the bottom, but okay. Not each of these may run every semester. Of course, they would need the courses to fill, but it's exciting to see if there's student interest in the theater arts.
These are courses that can be run simultaneously. You can have a student taking costuming while they're at the same time as a student taking intro to theater.
Yep.
Just
Mhm.
depending on what they're gonna be focusing on with the teacher.
What theater classes do we have already? I'm just curious.
Currently on the docket, I believe we just have the stagecraft class. Mr. Longer, is that accurate?
Yeah.
Intro and
Intro and-
stagecraft?
Intro and stagecraft.
Yeah, we were able to fill sections of both of those.
Very good.
So this will be a huge increase in theater classes.
And choices, yeah.
And- yeah.
For that, yeah. but you won't know until after registration if there's enough interest for these classes.
Yeah. And that's why we're bringing it before the board ahead of registration to get it approved so that we can move forward
Sure.
from any student interest.
You bet. Thank you.
Any questions, anybody? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's move on to high school and middle school clubs.
Mr. Hollinger is here,
All right, come on up, Mr. Hollinger.
and I'll address the middle school this time.
Thank you.
We have you have the explanation.
Yeah.
of the clubs. So we have two clubs. First one, I think on here it says Valkyrie. I think they want it to be called Voices of Valkyrie, or Voices for Valkyries. Valkyries, they're like, I don't know the lore of it exactly, but they're like female.
Or the
Viking
women warriors, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, so, this is a group of young ladies at the school wanted to put together just a way to come together and talk about issues concerning people, young girls their age, or as they grow up as well. So, they have a really great advisor, Mrs. Mike, who's gonna be there with them, so, that's that group.
I'm glad you clarified that. I was thinking Valkyrie like World War II.
And then the second one is a Just Serve Club. You may be familiar with the Just Serve organization, the app that goes along with it. So they wanted something a bit more formal, using that platform to serve throughout the community. So, wanted to have a club that was affiliated with that.
Do they have like a idea of who others are? Says serve others in our school and community. Is there like a target group or just anybody?
It can be a lot of things. It's specific to what is requested within this Just Serve program. So anybody in the community can make a request.
Yeah.
It's an app, it's a website, so people can go in and put requests, and then they would seek to find opportunities to fulfill those requests. But it's like local and community based, but it can be all sorts of people.
I looked at it as painting seniors, citizens' fingernails
Yeah,
at the nursing home and stuff like that.
it's basically a community need and then just finding volunteers to help
To go
fill
out.
that need, yeah.
That's great, like
And it's good to enlist the youth because
helping in their yards and.
those are good skills to learn as a youth.
Super good.
Any questions?
With Mrs. Lake being the English teacher on that Valkyrie, Voices for Valkyries, it says reading literature to support these goals. Is it all literature that's within her English group or has it been approved?
That's a good question. I haven't vetted that, but I can find out.
To meet the goals of, girls meeting girls. Not in a derogatory way, but just sometimes women just need to chat with other women. It's, as a woman, I'll say that, and it's just the way it is. And if you're a woman in here, you might understand that.
I just was curious when it said reading literature to support these goals. If there were gonna be books that are already
Like,
within
yeah.
the school.
Yeah, and I think I assume the students who wrote that probably don't even quite realize that there is like approved literature versus not. So
Yes.
we would make sure, and Mrs. Lake is very aware of what's appropriate and not in these sorts of settings, so.
That's fantastic.
As an English teacher, she.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I would hope we would make sure before we.
Well, they'd have to follow policy too, though, because we do have policy in place that
Yeah,
says they would have to be approved, so.
The kids might not know that, but the advisor does.
They might try.
Yes, the
They can
advisor tried to
try.
answer that very well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, but I don't know how else you word that, right? Like they think they might, maybe they won't read books, but I guess you put that there. Thank you.
Thanks, thank you.
And then as far as the middle school drama, the description was there, but it's just your basic drama club, put on theater productions, but at the middle school level.
Which is probably a great place to have it.
Yep.
That's all I'll say.
Do we have a lack of?
And this is, there will actually
Nope, we will
be,
just be enhancing it.
this is just the first of several clubs. Mr. Hinkson wasn't able to be here tonight, but he will be here next month with another set of clubs as well.
Good.
Does that mean there's more interest in drama from middle school? Must be.
So,
There is.
no, oh, yes, it's definitely present. Will they meet after school?
It'll be after school.
Okay, very good. I'm good. That's
Yeah, it's like
Good.
3:30, 3:50 to 4:40.
There's a lot of places you could be, and that's okay. That's a good thing. All right.
So, but it is they want it to be a sponsor.
Sponsored, and Mr. Hinkson has found the budget for that within the middle school budget. So they would not be requesting district funds for that.
Oh, that's what he means by, okay.
All right. Any more questions on the clubs? Let's move on to our bus route approvals. We have Mrs. Janice here. If you want to come up to our podium, we're so glad to have you.
So glad to be here. The one and only time I've ever had the opportunity to be here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Gina Dennis. I'm the division manager for Caldwell Transportation. We serve Middleton School District and Sage International in our fair city. I take care of the management of our fleet, our crew, the routing, with the help of obviously our routing software. It's come to my attention through SDE recently. We had an audit or a spot inspection at our location that potentially our school district was not in compliance with some of the directives in getting board approval for our routes. I think the last board approval would have been in 2019, which obviously relaxed them out. So we need to be updating that. This will be a half year. We've obviously been running the routes through the entirety of this year. This will be a half year to continue with the rest of the year. I assume you've all had an opportunity to look at the routes that I provided, the maps that I provided. But going forward, that will be a yearly thing, potentially in August, which will give you a fair review of what that looks like for the routes. But just be aware that those routes are fluid between the month of August and potentially October, where ridership then levels out and we're able to kind of cement those routes. I mostly do the routing with the help of my assistant manager, which also changes throughout the course of the year. The routes are fairly set in their areas, but somewhat fluid in ridership going through the course of the year. So basically just wanted to present that and see if there were any questions on the current routes. And I also provided stop information for our safety busing. Everyone's had an opportunity to look at that and if there was any questions.
And the safety busing is an areas within that you actually don't have to provide busing within a certain distance from each school. However, if there are not safe routes for the students to walk or, ride bike, that kind of thing to school, then school districts can provide busing and we can receive funding from the state. And so going through this process is actually going to help us work through some potential additional funding to help pay for some of those safety busing areas where maybe a sidewalk hasn't been built. It's not safe for kids to be walking along the road right there, so we can provide busing in those areas.
And there's definitely criteria that I adhere to when looking at safety busing in areas. If they have to cross the major roadway, there's not a crosswalk or a crossing guard, or like you said, there's not sidewalks, that the shoulder's not large enough for the area. Just depending on what criteria is, I would say probably Heights has right now the biggest safety busing numbers because it's areas that were within 1.5 miles of the school that have to cross the main highway. So they're probably the largest number at this point. I think last count there was over 600 safety busing in the district.
Wow.
So.
Is that an issue that the city of Middleton can address for not having adequate crosswalks or?
Not in all cases, I don't think. Say for instance, out at Purple Sage Elementary, our safety busing covers a wide area as well, because even, we only have one tiny area that's even a walk zone in that area. There's just not adequate sidewalks. There's not adequate anything for those students to be able to get there. So we pick up students from here to, you to school.
Isn't Purple Sage outside the Middleton City District? City
Yeah,
limits?
it's in Caldwell.
City
Yeah,
limits,
yeah. That's why I was wondering for height, since it's within the city limits,
Right.
what responsibility the city of Middleton has for making sure there's safe crosswalks.
Well, and when we identify an area, we built one crosswalk just in the last year with, the city of Middleton. They've been approaching us about another one. The one that we built was on when we extended 9th Street. But we're looking at one on Willis now up by the high school, just because there's an area where a lot of students come out of that neighborhood and are looking to get across to the high school. So we're working with the city to put a plan together for that. But there's not always a requirement of the city that they place a sidewalk, crosswalk, those kind of things. The ones that, especially where it crosses a major highway, they don't have really any say, because that comes down to ITV being the ones that look at it. So there's some things they can do, but they couldn't solve, they couldn't just waive, even if they had all the money in the world, they still couldn't solve all the problems.
For sure.
So every year, like I said, we will, I'll come before you again, present the same situation, the routes. Every 3 years, we'll go through the safety busing and get approval so that the district is in compliance with SDE. You should be getting, or Dr. You will get a report here in the next few weeks from that spot inspection, kind of outlining what areas need to be improved upon. If we're not in compliance, there could potentially be a corrective action report made, which we don't want to do. So just working with the district, I want to make sure that we're all in compliance with everything.
That'll be a major update when the new elementary is built.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you for all your hard work. We appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Gina.
All right, let's go on to communication planning.
This is just a quick note I wanted to share with the board that we're, as we've gone through these last several campaigns for levies and bonds and different things, we've found that there's a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding. I would say sometimes it's a willful, deliberate attempt to mislead, but a lot of times it's just they don't know, or they get the wrong information. Somebody makes an assumption, not necessarily trying to mess things up. They make an assumption and that gets passed on as true. So we've been identifying some of those areas where we can do better in communicating out to our community. Methods of reaching the community. We have right now, we have Instagram, Facebook. We do a hard copy newsletter that we send out. We have our website, but there are other ways that we can increase that message and help people understand what we're doing in Middleton. The more we understand, hopefully the better we'll have it when it comes to our next campaigns for things. But separate from any individual campaign, we just felt like we needed to take some steps to that. So as a district, we're looking, district administration and staff, we're working on that. We've got a organization called Target River that's going to help us with some of that as well. We'll be working together with them. We'll keep you apprised of some of those plans that we'll put together. Target River is one. They've worked with Nampa School District. They've worked with the ones I called them just to see how people have liked working with them. Nampa worked with them. Pocatello School District worked with them. Payette School District has worked with them. There's one up north that
Lakeland.
Lakeland? Boundary County. Anyway, they've all had the engaged in interactions, and every person that I talked to said they really helped They
They're
made
just
it
an organization.
an organization, well, I mean,
It's
they're
company.
a
They're a
company.
company.
So there's a cost that goes along with that. And we're working through with them, what that cost would be. But each of those organizations indicated, like, for instance, in Pocatello, they were struggling with kindergarten enrollment. There were a lot of charter schools in the area that were pulling students away. And they said, as they worked with Target River, there were just places they could help get to. Similar to what we do, Pocatello had a lot of the information. They produced a lot of good things. Target River just helped them get it out further.
We can just find the audience faster
Right.
than,
And so, anyway, if there were specific things that you as a board wanted me to make sure that as we are working on these different communication plans, that, like I said, this is kind of outside any specific campaign. It's, not something for a levy or a bond or anything, just more helping people understand more about what goes on. I mean, I think a perfect example is the Middleton School District borders. That's a very misunderstood boundary that some just naturally assume because they don't ask, that it's just Middleton, the city of Middleton. And so when they hear that we're doing something in Star or in Caldwell or wherever it might be, they're confused why we would do that and why we're paying money to do something in Star or Caldwell, not recognizing that there are parts of those communities that are within ours. And so finding ways to help get those kind of messages out.
Yeah, perfect example of that would be if Star was trying to put an elementary school inside the Middleton city limits and call it Star Elementary.
Right.
There would be confusion and fuss.
Right.
Problem, but here we are putting a Middleton Elementary School within the city limits of Star.
Correct.
And what really stuck with me in that map of voter approval and disapproval, the further you go east, the approval levels just dropped off a cliff. It was only like 30% approval for the bond as you got closer to that eastern side of the district. And it kind of begs the question, at what point did the Meridian School District have to change their name to West Ada?
Right.
Because they
quite a
were
while
in
ago.
Eagle and Star.
Right.
And they had to change the name.
Okay.
Because they were much bigger than Meridian, just like we're much bigger than Middleton.
Right. Yeah. So any comments, questions, concerns with moving forward that way? Like I said, it's just, these are all things that we would be doing normally, just kind of wanted to make sure that you were aware of how we were.
I would
approaching it.
say any way more we can promote what our kids are doing, the better.
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah,
For sure.
and it kind of would be nice if when you did put something out, that maybe
Let you
kind of let
know,
us know.
Yeah,
That way we
absolutely.
can.
Be
okay,
watching for it.
Okay,
Yep, absolutely.
thank you.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to ESI.
Right, yeah, Corey, would you mind? We've got Corey from ESI here. Gonna, no, unless if there's specific questions, board members have. Similar to what we did last month, we worked through the architect's pre-construction contract. We also have to do some pre-construction work with ESI on our new elementary school. We've been working with Corey and ESI and our attorneys, just working back and forth to make sure that the wording all fits with what's going to be the best interest of the district and ESI to work together. So we were able to get you those contracts in advance. They're attached to the agenda. Corey, if I could ask you to kind of give an idea of what the scope
Sure.
of those contracts entail, and then if there's any questions that you as a board have, Corey's got a lot of knowledge on that.
So, thanks, Mark. So, as Mark mentioned, we've been working with Middleton School District for the past year and a half or so, assisting with constructability and cost estimating through various iterations of the Middleton Elementary School. Now that the district has received funding, LKB, the architect, has been released to proceed from, an initial programmatic level design that we call it, through construction documents. During that period, it's important to make sure that that design progresses in alignment with several construction-related categories, constructability being one, ensuring cost alignment tends to be the biggest, making sure that now that we identify what that target budget is, what that funding source is, that we're designing within that budget, so that when we get to that permit phase and ultimately bid out work, that we're realizing bid results that align with the district's budget. So this is a preliminary or pre-construction contract at this point, just to provide those services with the ability to amend it at a later date once we solicit bids and finalize that costing to move into construction.
Any questions regarding the contracts that you were given?
Hate to say, but it's one of the things I didn't read in detail.
Don't blame you.
But no, I don't have any.
No question?
So you're thinking ETA is July 1st, roughly?
Start date?
Yeah.
I know that LKB is working through a number of jurisdictional things right now, both with the city as well as with Corey Barton, on the development and donation of the land. That's kind of driving a lot of the preliminary pre-construction schedule. I know that LKB is capable and is hoping to deliver bid ready, permit ready documents by the spring, call it May 1st. Typically what we like to do is go out to bid at the same time as LKB submits for permit. That permit process can take several weeks. We might as well capitalize on that time to get bid results. So if all things went well, yeah, we'd be looking to break ground early summer to give us the best opportunity to complete and turn that facility over for the fall semester of 27.
Right.
If we push, if from a jurisdictional perspective, things push out much further than that, I think we put ourselves in a bit of a risky timeline with being able to achieve that. Just because of the nature of how big the facility is, the site improvements, and the amount of time the construction will take.
Financially, do you have a crystal ball right now that tells you anything about the trades and the volatility of the different aspects of this, concrete going up, steel going up?
I wish I had a crystal ball, especially over the last few years. What I can tell you is it seems like within the last 8 to 12 months, things have shifted in a way that have normalized a little bit better. You wouldn't think that with the amount of work that's still going on out at Micron and some of these other facilities, but it has. We've seen a lot more interest from subcontractors, a lot more, which has resulted in a lot more bids being received on projects like this, which is always a good sign. When you see 3 or 4 or 5 bids, that is proof of a competitive bid environment. We've seen material procurement timelines improve dramatically. A year and a half, 2 years ago, we might have to wait 24 to 36 months for some of the materials, electrical gear and things like that we need for this. That's kind of gone by the wayside, thankfully. I don't have a crystal ball, if what things will be come March or May. But right now, I would say that it's looking promising.
Good.
What, just for transparency, when we're looking at the bid process, if things kind of come out of what your expected scope is on those bids, what's your process? What can we expect?
Yeah, so part of this pre-construction effort involves several budget estimates, preliminary budget estimates that happen in concurrence with the design progression. As design progresses, we learn more and more. During that time, we'll know pretty clearly how we stand in alignment with the budget. And if we're close, if we have any concerns, we're actively working with LKB on finding alternatives, that they can put into the drawings and we can price as alternatives, so that if we're over budget, there's opportunities to quickly scale things back without stopping and redesigning. Same way as if we're under budget, you want to capitalize on the funds that you have. There's opportunities to, buy up, add scope, kind of a menu list type of opportunity.
Will we have an opportunity to expand the footprint at all if we come in way under budget on a lot of these things?
Yeah, great question. So if you recall, the original design of the new elementary contemplated essentially 2 wings. It was a different shape. Because of the budget funding, because the bond did not pass, we're constrained a little bit. LKB is currently designing 1 wing with all of the main front of house resources, administrative, cafeteria, gym, with 1 wing of classrooms. And if you look at their drawings right now, there is, a future phase provision for the expansion of that additional wing. I don't necessarily think that pricing will come in so good that we'd be able to afford adding that additional wing, but it is an opportunity to consider adding a classroom at a time or things like that.
And one of the first things we had talked about with LKB is that if there were additional funding, the first thing that we'd add is the cafeteria. That's right there on the net. It's the net kind of, if you're following the U shape, it's the next thing. And it would make it so that we wouldn't have to switch the kitchen around because the kitchen will be in the same spot, but we'll kind of reverse everything when the cafeteria is built. So if we can build the cafeteria in the first phase, that would be the first thing that we would add if we were looking at additional funds.
Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, the gym has to be the cafeteria.
Correct, and that's
It's
the
the
plan right now, is
right now.
to have the gym as the cafeteria.
Is there any unforeseen or problems that you could think of that might come about with Corey Barton? Have they already transferred the land to the school district?
They haven't transferred the land officially to the district, but they're just waiting for the appropriate time because they've got their plat is still getting finalized. Is that the right phrase there? So as the plat is getting finalized, then once here's where it is, and we've done all the things, because there's a couple of transportation things we've got to look at, the fire, the water lines getting into the area. Once those are set, then they'll be transferring the property over. And we had a pre-application meeting with the city of Star about a month ago. And in that meeting, Corey Barton's representative was there, and we were looking for ways to get that moving as quickly as possible, earlier than they had planned, and his representative was in full support of making that happen.
Well, Corey's building in 3 phases? I think it's 3 phases.
I don't know the answer. I know it's a large.
Yeah, it's like 3 main phases. In fact, they just put the P and Z hearing. I live right up the opposite side, but they just put the P and Z for phase 1 for the hearing.
Yep. And we have
Over the weekend.
a community meeting scheduled for the school part of that development at the fire station tomorrow night. LKB is who is running that meeting, so we'll be there. But we're also scheduled. I think it's February is the P and Z meeting that we'll be going to as well.
All right, thank you. Very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who's invited to that meeting tomorrow? Just to
Anybody?
clarify, what time is it and where?
Oh, I will get you that meeting. One second.
That big meeting room is the same place they had it last time.
Yeah.
Star Fire Department.
Who sets those meetings?
The LKB.
Isn't it 700?
6 o'clock
6 o'clock?
at the fire station on State Street, the main one,
And it's a
In
community
Star.
meeting?
in Star, yeah. Well, it's for that neighborhood,
It's for the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
to ask questions of the architect.
So it's most likely, it's gonna be in the city of Star, it's a community meeting, but that's who it's it's whatever, the municipality that
Right.
it's residing in, so that's why it's there. That makes sense.
They had one, what was that, about a year ago, the same meeting at the same place, and was that,
It was at that place, but it was for the bond.
just for the bond?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the softball pitching machine surplus.
Can you bring that picture up, just so we've got a big for this? So, there are two, softball pitching machines that are actually, we haven't been using for years. They're designed for an overhand pitch, but our softball is underhand pitch. So, they don't really do us much good. They've just been kind of sitting there, and where they've been sitting, we're looking for the space, so we're looking to, we don't have any use for them. The high school would like to declare them a surplus. We'll have a picture of maybe, it's in the agenda. It says less than a minute. So, any questions on that? It's pretty straightforward, but, we have, because of
No,
Remember
never had
having
overhead.
softball suits
I,
forever.
right. It was, I believe.
Maybe we got
was
it in a
came-
deal.
I think they
Deal.
came at the same time when the high school was built as they got the baseball hitting machines, and it was just kind of a package. That's what I was told. But like I said, they haven't used it.
Yeah.
So they believe they can get close to $1,000 each, and there are two of them.
Nice,
So,
yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's great.
There they are. Ta-da. And we got two of them.
Perfect.
get rid of
Okay.
All right,
Any other questions on that? All right.
oh, let's move on to the levy discussion.
Okay. You might read that document. And you've got a hard copy here. The primary discussion I wanted to have with you as a board in this regard is, as we look at the opportunities for a levy in the coming this spring, one of the things we need to determine is the amount that we would be looking for. When we went to the levy in November, we raised the total amount. Some of those price increases were because of just the cost of the things that we were looking at. If you're paying for 7 teachers in 2018, for those same 7 teachers in 2025, you're gonna be paying more. And we hadn't adjusted any of those amounts for several cycles of this levy. So it just was time to address that. And then there were 2 primary larger items that we looked at that we felt like needed to be addressed through the levy. One of those was in our technology department that was not on the previous levy, because we have a series of our one-to-one devices, Chromebooks, that are reaching the end of their lifespan. And when all of those came in, this is kind of COVID's gift that keeps on giving. When COVID came, we had to purchase a lot of those devices all at the same time. And so now a large number are expiring at the same time. So this would be able to help us replace those student devices. The other aspect was the resource officer and security. In previous levies, we had budgeted $80,000, which is the cost for one SRO with the city of Middleton for that process. Since then, we've added the security officers, the 3 security officers at each school. We typically have paid for 1 SRO. We have 2 right now, 1 out of our general fund and then 1 from the levy. And then we've been looking at ways to continue paying for those 3 security officers. When we did this plan, we were looking for ways to increase it so that we have those security officers at all 5 campuses. So middle school and the academy being one campus, and then, so we would add 2 additional. That's where those costs came. So those 2 areas, technology and the security, were in addition to what we had typically done. And once you added all those costs together, and the increases that came in each of the categories, you raised it from that 1.5 to the 2.476 that you see there. So as a board and district, we need to decide, are we going to attempt to run a levy at the 2.476, knowing that possibly that increase was something that changed people's minds in terms of voting yes or no? Or do we go to back to where we were at the 1.5, knowing that at 1.5 we can't provide the same level of service that we have been providing, so there would still be cuts even if we went at 1.5. However, those would be fewer cuts than if we had no levy at all. Right. So what you see there, can you move that over to the pink side? So what you see there in 25-26, what you would see, in 23-24, the last time we passed the levy, that amount, that 386,000 would pay for 8 teachers. In 25-26, that's going to pay for 7 teachers. So we would lose 1 position if we went down to the 1.5 and just kept everything as it was. And so you can see the change, 18 paraprofessionals to 16 paraprofessionals. The 80,000 was the cost of 1 SRO. So the cost of 1 SRO today is 89. And this cost does not include the security officers. So we would have to, if we were going to keep the security officers, we would have to either budget and pull money from a different part of our general fund to make that happen, or not, or we would have to cut those positions. And so as you work down, you can see those 2 spots that are 0 are just areas that we did not have a previous amount. So I guess as a board, we have this meeting and February's meeting to make that determination. In our March meeting, we would need to have the exact amount ready. Well, in our February meeting, we'd have to have a final say so we can work up the financial wording and work with our financial planners to get all of that ready for the March meeting, when we would have to list everything out to be placed on the ballot for May. So that being said, it's just that decision that needs to be made. If you have suggestions, comments, things you would like me to investigate in this next intervening month, I can take all of that and I can present a recommendation to you as a board in our February meeting. But I wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity for you to share any of those thoughts that you have on whether we should stay at that 2.4, move back to the 1.5, or land somewhere in the middle of that.
If we go to the 1.5, there's some, we need teachers, that's great. We need paraprofs, that's important. That's, I don't know what the feedback is otherwise, but I've heard good things about the security officers and the feeling in the community of how much more safe the families and the children feel.
We have yet to have a complaint about our security officers.
And then as far as the pay-to-play fees, do we have an idea of how many athletes we have participating in the programs and what that would look like per student increase?
Like the increase in fees? Mm-hmm. I don't have that right here with me, but I can definitely get that pretty quickly.
And then do we know, have we identified specifically what curriculum we would need to push out further, or?
Is Paige still here? Paige, can you comment on that? Your question is, if we didn't go up to the 600 or 700 and drop back to 500, if we had just the 500,000, what changes would we have to, or would we not be able to get what curriculum?
In short, so that the curriculum line item in the budget is the entire textbook budget. So that is when we get increases in students, when we enrolled 10 new ones this week and the teacher said, we need the books for these kids, we're getting those books to them. We would have to prioritize, and it would likely mean that we could not necessarily do a full K-12 adoption. It would probably throw us on our cycle of what we could do for resources. And so when you look at curriculum on a contractual basis, then your contract is up technically, which means you lose your services and your access. So then if we had to push that, then you purchase licensing 1 year at a time, which it ends up being more expensive than when you sign a 6-year contract.
And the next 3 adoptions are what? Starting with science this year.
So science is this year, CTE is next year, and math is the following year.
So all 3 of those could potentially be impacted by decisions we make with the curriculum budget.
And then this would also impact not only the cost to participate in sports, but the ability to transport athletes.
Yes.
Probably have to come up either with more expenses to cover it out of pocket, or
We would have to
There would
increase,
be no busing.
there would either be no busing or we'd have to increase fees.
Small. Well, the technology is big. Killer is that far eastern part of our district.
That really is,
No, but
yeah.
I mean, in the big picture, it means nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
35 grand means nothing on that portion of it.
Yes.
And we're only getting 30% approval. That's just a killer on that far eastern part of the district. Is there a way that we can survey some of those people over there and figure out if this would make a difference to lower it to 1.5? Because boy, that 30% approval is just terrible on that far eastern side. I
And
mean,
then what is our current number of students today?
4,451.
And that's up from, what?
That's up 50 since November.
Okay,
So Chris was, we got more, okay, added more.
Yeah.
the problem with some of these things are like building maintenance. If we cut building maintenance, it doesn't really cut the budget, because if we're prolonging the pain, it's a bigger pain later. It's not that it's not gonna get cheaper to fix something as it gets more broken.
Right.
So, yeah, if we can just kind of, I guess we'll have to dig into some of the details and figure out what kind of impact this has on us, so that we can make a decision.
Yeah, we were quite a ways from our pass rate the last time, so something's gotta change. Or we're just gonna be right back to where we were.
Right.
You know, something's gotta give somewhere.
Have you kind of thought of where land somewhere in the middle is? Just that,
I mean, certainly we've given some thought to different scenarios. A couple of different scenarios we've thought through. The building maintenance amount, rather than, if you were to drop the building maintenance to what it was previously and take those funds that we were going to increase and use those for the technology, that would be one method, because we do have some flexibility in maintenance. The problem is, the biggest thing is we have the modernization funds, but those are set for capital projects only, which means that we can't pay. Alicia, do you want to talk just really quickly to the things that we can't pay with the modernization funds?
Sure. When we have an HVAC unit, for example, go out and it's just a belt or a compressor that needs changed, that is just daily routine maintenance. Painting, basic repairs on the building itself, so any type of trim that might need to be updated, plumbing repairs, clogged drains, those kind of things, unless we're going through a full deep project, are not eligible for the school modernization fund.
And when they gave us the modernization funds, they pulled a lot of the funds that we have for those kinds of projects.
good, they
And so
won't
that's
come into
what-
that, yeah.
That's why I would hesitate to, because you could pull almost the whole maintenance thing out and say, we'll just use all that for technology, but I'd hesitate to pull all of that out, because then you don't have that for some of those day-to-day maintenance repairs. So I could look at it and say, okay, we would go leave it at 100,000 there for the maintenance and move the 136 to the technology and drop the 250 that you had. So that would be a $250,000 savings from the 2.4. So that's one example. Another example would be to just hold tight on our resource officers and security as we stand right now, rather than increasing. That would save another 60 to 70,000. Those are some of them. I would certainly recommend just if we were looking for ways to reduce, another reduction would be going back to the 500,000 on the curriculum. Just because, again, 500,000 is better than nothing. And that's what we have for curriculum if it doesn't pass. So that would be another way that we could pull that down, and that could get us down under 2 million just with those adjustments. So those are some of the things that we've talked about, because all of them, again, the 2.4 is how we would maintain things for the most part as they are. The only real increase that would be beyond what we have right now is those 2 additional security officers. Everything else, you think about the technology, we didn't have it on there before, but that technology is something we have right now, and our students have, and our teachers are used to, and our families are used to.
Well, at this point, the best evidence we have is the 1.5 million passed and the 2.4 didn't pass. That's all. I mean,
But the 1.5 didn't pass several times to pass as well, so I don't know if you really can go off.
You mean prior?
Prior, yes.
Yeah.
2020.
We struggled to
But if-
not have that even pass.
If we don't increase somewhat, we're going backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so if we left it at 1.5, we're going in the hole even further.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. I
so we're
agree.
losing
but
all the way around.
And
not
there's,
as fast as if it doesn't get approved. They're really going in the hole.
Well,
Yeah.
well, then we just make the cuts and people will pay more money for lots of things and it'll just be what it is. We'll go forward, but I don't know. How do you make the case? I mean, you can't say nobody's hurting. I think that there's people out there that are hurting, but
Well, with the cost of the SRO going up so much, I mean, and they only work for us 9 months.
They work for us during the school year, that is correct.
and we pay their full salary.
Yeah,
Correct.
and
well, they
that's
didn't go up that
for,
much, it went up 9 grand.
Yeah,
Over
that's
2
including
years.
benefits.
That's nothing.
You know, that is really not that much.
That's nothing, that's, yeah,
a lot.
that's small in the big picture.
But I'd be heavily.
Well, and even for law enforcement, a lot of them pay a
Say,
lot.
hey, I would
Yeah.
approve
A lot of them are six
1.5,
figures.
but I wouldn't approve 2.4, some sort of voter poll that would tell us, give us some indication. Even if it was a very small amount of voters.
If you would like, as a board, what I can prepare for February is, because even with the 1.5, we'd make some adjustments there. So a proposal for 1.5, a proposal for what the 2.4, which would be similar to what we already have, and then a kind of a middle of the road, just under 2.
Right at 2.
Right at 2.
Mhm.
I'd like
So-
to see 1.5, 2, and what we have current.
Okay.
Yep.
I will bring that then to you as a board.
Can we
I'll
see
get
that
it.
prior to the meeting?
Yeah, we'll have that out before the meeting. And then, I'll work on what I can do to get a survey of that area, that lower area.
Hopefully it wouldn't cost much to have some.
Yeah. Any other, comments or questions you have regarding our supplemental? Okay, thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to America 250 planning.
I just wanted to, with the America 250 celebration coming up this summer, it is something that, it's a once in a lifetime thing. It's a neat thing to be a part of. I reached out to the other city organizations, and community organizations that we have, just right before Christmas, asking if they would be interested in collaborating, as public entities in putting, seeing what we can do to put that kind of a celebration on. I think as a school district, we have a lot that we can offer. Pam mentioned that when the band was up here, if you've ever heard the band play Stars and Stripes Forever, it's a pretty rousing
I was thinking
rendition
having
that
a
they
jazz
do.
band concert and a fundraiser for uniforms and Celebrate America.
And I think that I just think there's an opportunity for us to participate and be an integral part of the 250. The city, everybody that we reached out to has indicated that they'd like to collaborate. The city had already been moving a little bit on that, and so they're having a meeting first. Once they've had their internal meeting, they want to come to the table with that. So if you're good with that, we'll continue moving forward. And if you have any suggestions, I'm happy to take those now or just
I
as you
do,
get them,
actually.
please.
And I'm glad Mr. Hollinger's here because there's a presidential 1776 award that's national. Have you read anything
I have
about
not.
that? And I think it's high school students and they have an opportunity to win scholarships up to $150,000. I mean, this is nationwide, but it might be something fun to get high school kids engaged in. They have to go. Round one is held during the week of February 28th to the 22nd, 28th. And they'll take the Impossible Civics test. It's an online timed, electronically proctored multiple choice exam. And they have 90 minutes to answer up to 4,000 random. I mean, that just might be something fun to get people motivated. And then round two, they go somewhere for regionals but it's called the Presidential 1776 Award. And I think it's through the national. I think it's
The
through
national
I think it's through the Department of Education.
The
I think
National 250
maybe,
celebration.
or it might be, I think it's the Department of Education.
Okay, got it. I didn't know we had one of those still. but-
We do, sort of. And then there's something too that the State Department of Education, I don't know if any of our, it's a monthly thing. I don't know if anybody's doing that as
Well,
well.
And there are options for funding from the state. The state has allocated through their legislative session last year, some funds for celebrations in communities that we can apply for. So
Well,
I
yeah.
felt like once we got that group together, we could apply for some of those.
Well,
as
they've
well.
got something that you can submit monthly, classroom winner by the end of the day, like for students. Creative works, written, oral, or visual. There's all kinds of things, and that is through the Idaho Department of Education.
Okay.
I was having a good time Googling stuff today.
Okay, well, we will continue moving forward and just kind of give you an update as we move along.
Thank you. All right. Do we have high school students in here that need to get their agendas signed?
Yes.
Do you want to stay for policy, or would you like to come get your agenda signed? You've been
Yeah, we.
All right.
Back.
Oh, we're back on for fun policy. Woo!
So we have a few first readings tonight. So 2320 is health enhancement education. It's a required update to a required policy. There were 3 House bills that passed this last session, and so this would bring the policy in line with those 3 House bills. And it was House Bill 239, Senate Bill 1046, and then House Bill 352. And so it really goes down to the new definition in law around human sexuality, the video you guys have already approved, the Baby Olivia video, and then the sexual orientation, gender identity for age appropriate and developmentally appropriate in accordance with the new state standards.
And parent complaints.
Yep, that's the next part. So then the other first reading is that's okay, is the procedure that goes along with that, and that has to do with the parent complaints. And so this would require parent permission for any instruction that falls within those topics. And it would be the parent permission slip that we would send out as well.
Okay.
So we don't have much flexibility on like these anyway.
We don't, no. And then the form, so that's just the procedure. The form is in the actual parent signature form, which is the 3rd item under first readings. And so all 3 of those would go together. One is the policy, one's the procedure, one is the form that parents then would sign. The next new first policy is 3525 immunization requirements. This is another one that had a House bill that changed some existing requirements. It really came down to when a student's over 18 and some of the exemptions, and then just wanted to make sure that those requirements in state were codified in that law. And so not a lot of changes to that policy, but a few particular changes to that one that we were requiring for us to update.
I don't know if this pertains to this, but the recent decision to change from 11, down to 11.
The new CDC
The
requirements.
new CDC requirements.
There will most likely be changes to that. Currently, the new law doesn't include those changes. And
Okay.
so I would anticipate you guys will see another revision of this.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
As well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we recommending that this move into a second reading?
I would say all of those.
Okay.
We should.
Should we do it right now? Or you wanna wait to go through the second reading one?
We can do it either way.
Yeah.
Why don't we do it right now? I'd entertain a motion to move. You have to say all 4 of them.
I make a motion that we move policy 2320, the health enhancement education, policy 2320P1, parent complaints, policy 2320F1, parental permission for sex education or instruction related to human sexuality, and policy 3525, immunization requirements into a second reading.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Onward we go, Mrs. Pennington.
Yeah, so this is the procedure that outlines our graduation requirements. And so we had brought this forward last month. There were some new changes for the class that take effect with class of 2028. There's a new digital literacy requirement. There's a civics exam change in which test we give. And really just the overall number of core credits. And so those changes are in there. This also includes a change with our ISAT and what we do with our ISAT as well. And so that change would then, students would need to show proficiency on that ISAT in 11th grade. If they don't, then we have options for their next steps in regards to how they would then graduate with one of those next steps in regards to that proficiency level as well. And so this encompasses all those changes. I would suggest we go to a 3rd reading, especially with it being graduation requirements, and it's quite a few changes in there.
Mhm.
Have you gotten any feedback, pushback?
We haven't, do you want to?
Wanna let
Yeah.
Ms. Collins do it?
Yeah, sure. John, do you want, yeah.
So this, we've talked to our staff about this, and shown them the potential changes. The biggest changes would be surrounding the ISAT and this idea of we want our students to be proficient in reading and math before they leave high school, or at least that we've done everything we can for them. before they leave high school. So our staff is on board with it. They're all for it. At least now, we'll see once since this remedial class could affect will affect our master's schedule. So there might be some sacrifices that we have to make to do this, to pull this off. But right now, the staff is on board with it, really is supportive of it, and actually helped develop this plan. We haven't publicized it widely to our students in the community yet. So if we're okay to go to a third reading after this meeting, as we have it currently written, we have a letter prepared and send out to parents and community, and I imagine that's when we'll elicit a lot of our feedback from students and in the community from there.
Did you have a committee that included parents as you were working on this, or is this?
No,
solely
this was
band-aid?
more focused on administration and some teacher leaders as well.
But what mechanism do you have for parents to give you feedback on that besides angry phone calls?
Emails. Yeah, that's mostly, I'll just field most of that. I think if you'll find the way that we've approached it, this is not, it's like, we're happy to get feedback on it, but as the principal, talking with Mark and Lisa, talking to our teachers, we just think if you get a diploma from Middleton High School, there are certain skills that you should have.
Amen.
And we have this assessment to show if they have these skills or not. If they don't love that assessment, we have other options for assessment of that, but we'll take feedback, don't get me wrong, but I just think that we want to set some of the parameters for what a diploma means from Middleton High School. And we're really just raising the bar, I think.
Yeah.
Thank
I don't
you.
think there's a problem with that.
I like that.
I think that's, yeah, good idea.
It's great. It's just so crazy when you see some of these student athletes that go to college and they're just basically functionally illiterate.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that you had a diploma, it's like, yeah, as long as that doesn't happen in our school.
Yeah, I don't want that. And you can't, and if, some people can skate through that, they can slip through, but we want to just be able to identify them and just do everything we can to help them. Really. Some may see this as a punishment, but I really don't. It's just we're doing everything we can to help them.
Oh.
No, I think it's great.
Good.
It's above and beyond any state requirement.
Yeah.
But maybe someday the state will adopt what we're doing.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
So we would recommend that go to a third reading, so it does give us time to continue to elicit that feedback as well.
I would agree with that.
Let's do it right now. I would entertain a motion to do that.
I move that policy 2700 PR 1, high school graduation requirement procedures, move to a third reading.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Was that
Aye.
Jay?
Aye.
Was that Jay or?
Jake.
And then in reference to policy 7073, as we reviewed that, there's really not a lot of changes we would recommend at this point. We would like to continue reviewing that. So for that one, I would suggest we table that and we'll bring it back once we feel like there's enough changes or more substantial changes that need to be made to that one.
That works. All right. We don't have to do anything with that.
You have
Do we have to table it?
table
All right.
I move that we table policy 7073.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
And just for clarification, tabling it doesn't mean that this policy isn't enforced, because it was already a policy we had. So that policy is still there, we just are not
We're just
making any
tabling the
adjustments.
changes, yeah. All right, let's move on to action items. Action item A, approve or deny high school course request. I entertain the motion.
I move that we approve the high school course high school course requests.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
That was Jay, just to clarify.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All right.
Aye. All right, action item B,
I move that we approve the 3 new Suggested clubs.
Two
Two,
just the high
sorry.
school ones.
Okay, the Valkyrie, and then just serve clubs.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Aye. Move on to C, middle school club request. That's the drama club.
Go for it. Cindy.
I
I
would say I
move
can't.
that we approve middle school club request.
Second.
Second by Jay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
all right.
Aye.
I make a motion that we approve the bus routes.
Second,
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
all right. I make a motion, we approve the ESI pre-construction contract.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
make a motion that we approve listing the softball pitching machines as surplus.
Jake, second by Jake. All those in favor say aye.
All right,
Aye.
Aye. All right.
As per section 2206(1)B, Idaho Code, to consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent, I make a motion that we go into executive session.
Second.
Thank you.
Trustee Moore,
yes.
trustee Dempsey,
Yes.
trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Powell,
Yes.
trustee Clark.
Yes.
Thanks, Kaden. Thank you much.
Thank you.